Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good evening to all audience and Masa University Facebook page viewer and Masa University channel YouTube viewer. Okay, my name is Muhammad Sabirin bin Rahmat. I'm the moderator for this webinar. All right. So together with me is a great speaker and with a great experience in geotechnical field. All right. This is related with civil engineering. All right. Uh, is Dr. Imam Farshi. Okay. So, before we start our webinar, and I hand over uh, to the speaker. Okay, this platform. Let me introduce background of a little bit background of our speaker. All right, Dr. Imam Farshi has more than 20 years working experience in a civil and geotechnical engineer. He obtained his degree in the civil engineering from University of Ishtahban, Shiraz, Iran. His master education was conducted under the direction of Professor Dr. Nazri bin Ali at University Technology of Malaysia (UTM), right? Where the study on the effect of the vegetation on slope stabilization. Okay, so Dr. Iman Farshi getting their PhD from the Milano, which is that call it University Technology of Milan, Italy. The dissertation was supervised by Professor Andrea Galli and Professor Francesco Calvati, right? His research area is focusing on the suitable and green tech soil stabilization methods and soil foundation interaction by applying various methods such as macron element. Currently, he is working as a dean of Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment at Massa University. Okay, Bandar Sarjana Putra campus. All right, in association with the Anglia Ruskin University and University of East London. All right, so that this is a little bit background, okay, regarding for the of our speaker. All right, okay, so all right. Okay. Dr. Iman Farshi, I will hand over to you for this platform.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, Dr. Sabirin. Thank you for introduction. So, good day to everyone. Thank you so much for joining our live webinars today. I'm Dr. Imam Farshi. I'm Dean of Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, Mahsa University. As mentioned by Dr. Sabirin, my background is geotechnical engineering, civil engineering. However, as a dean of faculty, that we do have these programs, which is civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering in the Master University, together with our new architecture technology program and also quant surveying and IT in our faculty. My main research was mainly on graduate attributes and how, as an education institute, to make sure that our graduates and our students to gain sufficient skills to when they graduate, definitely as a education institute, as a person that handling many students here, how we make sure our graduates are successful in industry nowadays. So, in my presentation today, actually, we have to make it short, about half an hour. So, what I'm going to do, basically, I will discuss and study about what is the main characters for each engineer that they really wanted in industry. So, engineering is famous with the critical thinking. And as an education institute, what is our role to make sure that our graduates are really suitable for industry and current industry demand? So how we can develop such a graduate. So all my presentation is all about. So I'm going to present my PowerPoints here, which we do have some information here. Okay, so great mind behind their engineering projects. Actually, it's exactly I want to talk that what are the graduate engineering attributes. So in that case, we want to discuss, okay, as an education and also as a person that we develop all our students here and who are graduate in the engineering space background, how they can help to develop and improve our current world. So in that case, I have to start that with the main characters of each engineers and each graduate, particularly our graduates in Massa University. So it's a very famous saying for each engineering, architect, quant survey, or IT graduates, by the morning they are like poets because they have to think how they make their life more beautiful. So you can see the amazing, beautiful project in engineering, architects going on every day. We do have lots of architects project. We do have lots of, you see, imagine that even the IoT, IR 4.0 project, even the 3D printer that nowadays, even in NASA, we work a lot. They are like really art. It's not something that simply just mathematic ideas that. So by the noon, they are humanists. Why? Because when they think something beautiful, that beautiful things, they must help the human beings and develop the environment around that. And by the afternoon, they are builder. They are at the end, when they find out all the problems, for sure they want to understand how to want to build it, to make it the reality. Okay, so grain mind behind the science of construction or any engineering problem, they are really advanced in solving problems. They are really creative. So this is the main criteria and the main character for each engineering graduate, that they are really creative. Why? Because actually they are passionate to help the lives better. So every day they have to be creative. They have to think something new, how to make their lives better. So it is very important character in engineering students. And at the end, they are really turn ideas into the reality. So this is how you have to be creative, how you really want to become solving problems that to make ideas into reality. So basically, engineering is solving problems. It is taking crazy ideas and saying if they actually possible. This is how the engineering works. So always I'm telling my engineering students that the main idea for you that you analyze the situation. So this is how come from advanced problem solving and to be creative. So engineering, by using math, science, and art, basically they solve the problem. So problems are engineering's inspiration. So this is the characters of engineering. So do we have a example? Yes, I have some example here. I don't want to go through that because in my, if you follow up my webinar series, in my previous webinar, I discussed all these examples. So I just listed few here. For example, this Denmark's disappearing road, which is connecting Denmark and Sweden, is about a few miles. Amazing structure under the water. So you think that you see that how engineers can be very creative to make such a beautiful, incredible structure that's go under the water. So this is actually 20 segment, 55 tons, and it is under the water, and it is amazing project here. So it is how to show that engineers are really creative to think and make something like art. It is art. It's not really simple project. The other project, okay, a smart tunnel in Kuala Lumpur. I think recently everyone is familiar. This disaster happened in Malaysia. This flooding. Without this smart tunnel, definitely KL happened something's disaster, a huge flooding. How is it working? In the normal case, the cars is going on and it is nothing issue, but this is smart. And when you have raining season, it trained this tunnel to the some channel to water flow. So you see that what is the creative idea behind that, that it is controlled a huge flooding in Kuala Lumpur. Look at the Petronas Twin Towers. These Petronas Twin Towers, they have 120 meters foundation under the ground. So it is amazing and really a masterpiece of engineering sports. Again, come back to the same things. Engineers are creative. They can solve the problem. They can really think and solve, analyze the situation. And final example that I want to tell today is about the towers that you can see in Dubai, and it's one of the biggest tallest tower in the world. I don't want to go through the details, which it takes one day webinars to talk about this. Just I tell you one point. It has the elevator that it takes 45 seconds to travel to travel to the top, and it means that it travels about 600 meters per second. And it's mind blowing. You see that electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering all come together to make such amazing project. Which only that if you want to talk the elevator, it shows that how it is advanced project. So I don't want to go through this all details. What I want to talk today mainly about that how our education is outcome based, how we make sure that we have a great institute to develop engineers that it is really suitable to make a great project such as Petronas Twin Towers or a smart tunnel in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, so in that case, first we discuss about typical design process. Typical design process starts from defining the problem, gather information, generate multiple solutions, analyze and select a solution, and test and implementation. This is one normal process that each engineer or each engineering design process which they need to follow. So you can see that how students in engineering background are really smart and can think to solve one problem. So I will go through one by one. Define the problem. So first of all, for each engineering project, we have to define the problem. For example, okay, the problem is that you want to solve like, definitely you want to make a tunnel, okay, for example. So definitely it must be low cost. It must be safety and low cost, the main PowerPoint or factor of safety for each engineering project. Definitely, you must have various skills. For example, you must understand what is the conflict of requirements, what are the information, engineering and society, environment and sustainability. You, as an engineer, you must understand all these points. So finally, you can define the problem. So define the problem, the first step of the design and finally analyze the situation. So second, gather information. To solve a problem, as a creative engineer, so first of all, to have the best design, you must gather the correct information. So you must understand that what is the limitation and drawback of the current solution, and what are the problems that you face, and on the other hand, what is the advantage of the current solution. So in this case, definitely each engineer can come out the best solution. So gather information. The second point, which we are each engineer is involved. So it is the gather information. For example, you have to address all the economic issues, all these problems related to solve, and then how you want to give a solution for that. The third step, generate multiple solutions. So now you have all this background information. You do all investigation. Now you want to create a solution. So in that case, you have to create a multiple solution. Okay, definitely in this case, you need to follow the brainstorming to come out with various solutions. So definitely another great character for each engineer is group working, because the best solution cannot develop individually. So definitely group working, communication, and investigation, it is very important of character of each engineer. So communication and group working, definitely it is affecting on this. Definitely you have all this knowledge background as well. So in that case, you generate the multiple solution to find a better answer for that. Finally, analyze and select a solution. So in that case, you must know all the code of standards, all this economic and safety issues, and all the rules and regulation that you have to follow. And finally, based on that, follow all the solution that you have, you choose the best one. So you must apply the depths of engineering knowledge, and that makes the best evaluation of all parameters. So it is very important here that to analyze all the parameters to make sure that you have the best solution. Finally, implementation the solution. So in that case, one of the greater character for each engineer is scheduling, planning the project. So project management, you no matter that which field of engineering you are working, either civil, mechanical, electrical, or architecture, or quant surveyors, or IT, you must always be the best for the planning and project management. So it is important as well. So why I told this, because I wanted to see that those coming to the engineering programs and those graduate in engineering are really the best in the designing the solution, and they really, after graduating, after studying engineering and our master school, that we really help them to make sure that this all design process can follow perfectly. So what is the role of education? To make sure that students catch the best idea and the students at the end come out with the best graduate related to the industry demand. So in that case, we have outcome-based education. For outcome-based education, what's the meaning? Means you have a clear picture what your graduate want to be. It's not like that previous time you have a book, you follow the book, you ask all the students, okay, you have to follow this kind of information because of my feeling. No. When we don't develop any engineering programs, so definitely we want to see what is our outcome of this program. Not only program, each subject, each module, and each course. Definitely we have to see what is our future. So then you design any assessment, any subject, and any kind of course based on that outcome that you really necessary. It's necessary for a student. So it's a student's best. So this is outcome-based education. So in outcome-based education, before I'm going to the engineering background, I have to tell that we have three main criteria. We have cognitive knowledge, which is very normal, I believe. We give the knowledge to the students. We give the basic knowledge. However, nowadays, in the current education, two important parameters is very effective, which is psychomotor knowledge and affective knowledge. These affective and psychomotor, these are hands-on skills and soft skills that all students necessary to obtain when they want to graduate. Later, I will discuss about details, for example, communication, or for example, the group working, or for example, laboratory working with software and so on. So these are the information that nowadays in current education, it is very important to all our students catch. So we make sure that our graduates are really suitable for industry. So this outcome-based education also following the taxonomy, for example, Bloom taxonomy for cognitive level, which is a start from lower level, the knowledge definition until the evaluation. So we make sure all our students and all engineering students to go through the knowledge stage until evaluation stage, which complete one cycle. So that's why each student easily can design process. So in that case, engineering students, they must really proud of themselves, or whoever come to engineering background, they really have this great cycle that make them ready for future industry or continues their education. So graduate attributes in engineering is the next point that we have to address this. For each engineering, we have the knowledge profile, which is actually engineering knowledge. So each engineering actually, they must follow all these 12 learning outcomes. So means each student must gain all these 12 skills to make sure that, okay, they are ready for industry. So in that case, engineering background is one of the most complete one compared to other programs, because they really go from engineering knowledge, which is attribute number 1, until investigation, attribute number 4, which is really they go through the deep complex engineering problem. So what is complex engineering problem? Later we reach to that. Please be patient on that. Then we have complex activities, which students will learn about society, sustainability, ethics until this, teamwork, life learning, and so on. So by having and following all each and every courses in engineering, we make sure that students catch the sufficient skills and students are ready for industry and they really their creative mind are really developed during their education, not when they're going to industry. So this is our new education process. So in that case, the first learning outcome, engineering knowledge. So definitely we give the students the basic knowledge of the mathematics, natural sciences, and fundamental of engineering. So you can see WK1 to WK4. What's that? Later, very soon we go through that. Number two is analysis. So after the students have the basic knowledge, they will learn how to analyze the situation. So always, nowadays, in each question that we ask our students, we always ask their opinion. So during their studies, by getting their opinion means we can catch exactly, we can develop students, analyze these criteria. Finally, design or development of solution. So in that case, also students are very well familiar with the design process, which all the safety, cultural, and societal and environmental condition is there. Number four, in investigation, students will learn how to investigate, how to do the literature review to get all the information for the best analysis. Number five is motor tools usage, which is actually students will involve with the various IT tools, engineering laboratory, which all they know the hands-on. So when they go to industry, they are ready. They don't have anything shocking for them. Finally, we have engineering and society, which is students must know about all the social and health and legal issues. Finally, then we have the environment and sustainability. Sustainability and green technologies nowadays is the very important parameter that each engineer must be familiar with that. Ethics, professional ethics definitely is the base for each engineering students, and professional ethics and responsibilities are the main ideas. Without these responsibilities ideas, definitely you will face the problem when you go with the best knowledge. You cannot make any project that it is useful for humanity. So humanities and ethics is very important for engineering. Finally, we have individual and teamwork. As I mentioned, the best solution cannot be individually, it must come from the teamwork. So the teamwork definitely make the students work together, make the best solution and understanding. So we have many projects that all engineers work together. So even during their studies, civil, mechanical, electrical, IT, architecture, all working together. Then communication. Communication means, okay, we define the students. Okay, you imagine that the students with the best knowledge, but cannot present well. So what's the point? So definitely communication is the important part. Management, as I mentioned, project management, when you want to implement your project, how you want to define the process, the finance, the timing, it is very important. And the most important things here, life learning. Never stop learning, never stop investigate about literature review, find out what are the problems previously and how you want to solve in future. This is basically the real life learning. So, as I mentioned, we have WK and so on, and all complex engineering. What's the meaning of complex engineering when we give the students the assessment? It means that difficult question? No, not at all. Complex engineering, basically the terminologies, we have complex problem solving, complex engineering activities, graduate attributes, and knowledge profile. So what is exactly this means? It means that you must to develop the multiple solution, multiple answer, and find the best one. So it become complex engineering problem. It doesn't mean that we give the difficult question. It means that we want to create a real case scenario that a students involved with the various situation, various basic background, and come up with various solution. In that case, they choose the best one. So in that case, we call it a complex engineering problem. Means the students feel the real case scenario. So it is complex engineering problem, which is in each and every of our courses. Nowadays, we involve with complex engineering problem, real case scenario, to make sure our students are gain sufficient skill to follow their industry demands. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have Washington Accord profile, which is WK1 to WK8, which is a start from basic knowledge until engagement with the research and literature. This is involved with each and every courses in engineering. Then we have complex engineering problem, which is about depth of knowledge, engineering knowledge, until the and students WP7 independently following complete the high level of the problems, including many component parts, which is actually involved with each engineering course. So that's why engineers are really have a great mind behind each engineering project. And complex activities. These complex activities means they have the various resources, then by having this ethics communication and also all these soft skills basically to be familiar with the situation to make sure that okay finally they can extend beyond the previous experience, they give the better solution for any situation that they will face. So I have to finish my webinars by today due to the various tasks that suddenly happened. So I apologize for that. However, my webinars have series. I appreciate that you can follow in my webinars. In following webinars, we will discuss in each graduate attributes more details to understand that how to develop any engineering with the best background and best solution that in future they can understand. So design your future to design our future. Engineers are driving our future. So in that case, I hope that you understand that who are the students suitable for engineering programs and how the engineering programs can develop the best students for current industry and our current education, especially in master university, following outcome-based education, which is actually we really understand what is the industry demand and we develop our students based on that. Okay, so this is all my presentation for today. Thank you so much for joining my webinars. Apology for the timing, and I have to leave the webinars as soon as possible, and I have to cut some of my presentation. We hopefully you can join for my next series of webinars. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.
All right. Thank you very much to Dr. Iman for the informative and interesting talk and sharing the knowledge and experience in the civil engineering. Okay, hopefully the presentation will be beneficial for everyone. Okay, thank you for your attention and see you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.